You're watching InDesign tutorials with Professor Tennant, and we are going to be continuing our tutorial endeavors into tabs and tables. This set of sequences is going to be on tables, and if you watch the basics of tabs and tables, the tabs already, this is going to help set you up for success. I've already set up a blank page and I have a text box. Now, your tables are actually a part of the text, and in fact, it's like it's an inserted graphic or an inserted item, and we'll go over that in just a second. So to set yourself up, get a blank page, make a text box. I have it almost halfway across, which means that I could put a table inside of one of my columns in a publication. And I want to place some text. If you've already seen my tutorials on text flow and placing text, then this will make sense. Go to File, Place, or Command or Control D to place a little bit of text. And of course, from our book, we do have a little bit of text, but you could also type in something. What I have is from Chapter 5 of the Exploring InDesign CS6 book by Cengage, this grade scale here. And if you don't have that, you could stop the video, type in just a few of these lines here just for practice. And basically that's what this is practice. Some of the things that I want to put in here, okay, so I have it, and I want to click here into my text box. And what you'll notice is the way that this is set up is that plain text plus it's just the way it was with tabs. So you can convert between a table becoming a set of tabs, or vice versa. You could have a tabbed set of information be converted into a table. So you'll notice here that my first column is under this grade here. I also have a headline grade scale. In between each of the columns, we only have one tab, and typically that's what you want. Again, if you have a number of tabs and you're trying to maintain your columns, at first this looks like it doesn't line up all that well. Well, that's because it's just the raw data here. You only need one tab. We do not visually need to tab things or spacebar it at all in order to make this all line up and happen. Okay, so practice along with me. If you've got the text typed in now or imported, placed like we have it, then what I want to do is to highlight the areas that these are columned areas. Now, I could include my headline as well. I'm not going to, because I wanted to show you an additional piece of information, how to insert an extra cell or an extra row. Okay, basically I'm going to highlight this information right here, and to convert it we go to Table, the Table drop-down menu, and what we're looking for is the second thing down in the row. Convert text to table. Okay? And it's basically going to ask us a couple of questions. Do you want, how are we going to separate out our columns? By tab or something else? It could be that you have information that just has tabs in between, or commas, or every piece of information has a different paragraph, an extra return at the end. How do we want to separate the rows? So your columns are top to bottom, or in other words, vertical. Your rows are across. Okay, so we're used to having that across, And our separator between the cells is that we come to the very end of it where there's a paragraph, and that is also typical. And we could go by tab or comma, but this setup right here is very typical. So I'm not really going to have to change anything at this time. Now, the last thing, the number of columns is already determined by the text itself that exists. And the table style, well, we can actually create a style, and that's an advantage. So if you design a table the way that you want to in a publication, or currently I'm working on Colleagues magazine, then I'm noticing there's lots and lots of tables in this particular issue. So if I were to set a style for one of them, then I could save that as a preset table style, and then the very next table that I do create, that style is already set up, and I don't have to redo all of the work that I put into it. Although doing tables is not a huge amount of work once you know the secret. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and it's going to give me the structure where this is information is filling the column all the way across. Now, if I have more information than is fitting all the way across inside of my my column or my text box, then it's going to spill out over it. And here's just kind of an example. It might go over it. Okay, so that may happen. It may mean that you need a wider text box. You might have to span 2 columns, so you separate that out. That's one of the things I'm having to do with my current publication that I'm doing. And or you might not want that to happen, so you configure it just a little bit differently. You might stack a few things in the information. So in any case, this goes all the way across to the edge of the text box, and I want you to notice that this at the end here is blinking at us. That's our cursor. It's as if this whole table is a character on one line of my text box. Okay, so that I could select it by text. If I click and drag, it's kind of tricky to get it as the whole table, okay, but this is what it looks like. And what that means is that this whole thing is as if it's a character. So I don't select that, but I still have my blinking cursor. If I press return and start typing, yeah, the very next line, this is within the line. So if I add some text above or returns, my whole table is going to be right within the text flow, and that's a huge advantage as well. I don't always use it that way, but it can be an advantage. So anyways, this is the basic setup of the table. We've brought in, we had existing information already, but how do I make a table that doesn't exist yet? Okay, so I could make a text box, okay, and going up to the table drop-down menu, see there's a whole drop-down menu here devoted just to tables. And I would highly recommend that you explore this whole drop-down menu here. We need to insert a table. It won't have any information in it yet, but I could make however many rows, however many columns, if I have a header or a footer, which means it's like important information, and I could use a style again. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and here I would type in my information in each of the cells, and so you get the picture. Okay, so in the next video we're going to start learning how to choose the different cells and different options so you can follow along.